So the Elite Eight is now down to Magnificent Seven. The Carolina Hurricanes, it wasn't easy, but they took care of business in Game 5 against the New Jersey Devils. They needed overtime to do it, and they got a power play because Siegenthaler shot the puck over the glass, and that power play cashed in. Jesperi Kotkaniemi put it in, and that's that. The first spot in this year's Final Four has been filled. It's the Carolina Hurricanes representing the Metro Division bracket, and entering the conference finals. And as for the New Jersey Devils, this was a great year for New Jersey. First postseason in 5 years, first playoff series win in 11 years. But as far as the series against Carolina, it was just one of those things. Carolina was just operating on overdrive. Great stats from the team. Of course, Jack Hughes. Of course, we all know he was the top prize in that 2019 draft. Devils got the number 1 pick. They drafted Jack Hughes number 1. He was great in the regular season. He had great regular seasons, but how did he do in the playoffs? Pretty good. 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points in 12 games. His first career playoff goal, penalty shot. That's epic. That's a story he'll tell for decades. But the Devils, I like where this is going. The Devils' window is open a crack. If they have another good off season like they did last year, it'll be open much wider. But the Devils, we should see them. We should see them in the hunt for the next few years. This could be just the beginning for them. It's because I'm getting like Avs vibes to like 17-18, which was the last time the Devils made it before this year. And so we should see what develops in the off season for the Devils. But they have a lot to be proud of. They really do. Of course, the other game tonight was the Stars and the Kraken. It looks like the Stars are getting into the driver's seat right now. They put up another 5 spot. 5-2 is the final score. Pavelski added a 7th goal in this year's playoffs, all in this series. Rupe Hintz had 3 points, 2 goals, and a helper, while Jason Robertson had 3 helpers. I'm gonna get him in fantasy hockey next season. I got it. That's one of my top priorities. But the Stars are in the driver's seat now. They're up 3-2. They're 1 win away from their first conference finals appearance since that bubble run. Of course, we all know what happened to bubble. They reached the Cup final, was 2 wins and finished 2 wins short of winning the Stanley Cup. But it's looking good for Dallas, but they'll have to go back to Seattle. Here's a piece of news I forgot to state yesterday. It's not good news either. Of course, it's in the old news category. But Gabriel Landeskog is going to be out for another season. It was reported. That news was reported about a couple of days ago. But Landeskog is going to undergo knee surgery, so he's going to miss another season. He's going to miss all next year. And it sucks. I really thought we were going to have our captain back for next season, but it's not going to happen. He has not. The last thing he did was be the first player to hoist that cup when we did this. Of course, Landeskog scored the first goal of the final in Game 1. But I remember because he was my Avs Twitter psychic that night, Game 1. Because my logic was the Avs' last Cup final goal was scored by the captain, Joe Sakic. So, of course, the captain's going to score again. And that's what happened there. It sucks. But we'll make do. We did this year. We somehow won the division and with our captain out for the whole season. And even though our postseason run was short, we still proved that we could do it without him. We'll have to do it again. Now for some angering Avs news. So, earlier today, the Vezina finalists were announced. Linus Ullmark, Ilya Sorokin, Connor Hellebuyck, but not Alexander Georgiev. Why? You know, I get that you hate the Avalanche, but could you at least pretend to be objective and recognize the job that Georgiev was doing? This was Gorgeous George's first full season as a regular starter. He had been backing up last year's Vezina winner, Igor Shesterkin, for a couple years, and we get him to replace Kemper after he got us that cup. And Georgie did pretty well for himself. 40 wins, which tied the league lead. He had 5 shutouts, which was 3 more than Ullmark. The GAA was about the same as some of the Vezina finalists. Same with the saves percentage. So why in the hell is he not a fucking finalist? How is Hellebuyck a finalist over Georgiev? How? I mean, Sorokin should be. I mean, he led the league in shutouts. He had 6. He was the only thing that kept the Islanders afloat. He was. And Ullmark got it because of the record. He wasn't that good. I know the playoffs have nothing to do with the Vezina, but the playoffs proved that he gave up 20 total goals to a Florida team that had Matt Tkachuk carrying them. And Hellebuyck, he's good, but he wasn't Vezina good. They just don't like the Avalanche. I am sick and tired of seeing Avalanche players get passed over and screwed over for awards. I've seen Nathan McKinnon get cheated out of the Hart at least twice. I still remember Cale Makar. Cale Makar should have won the Norris in 21. Adam Fox is not better than Cale Makar. He's not. They gave him the Norris because they don't like the Avs. Plain and simple. You're going to tell me Adam Fox was really a better defenseman than Cale Makar. If you believe that, I got a bridge somewhere in Fullerton I can sell you. Cheap. Of course, he got the Norris next year. He got the Norris last year, of course. Number 1, he earned it. He led the defenseman in goals. Number 2, they made it up to him because they fucked up last year. I mean, not last year, year before. This should have been his second straight Vezina, but it doesn't matter. All he did was win a cup and a Conn Smythe. Yeah, and Bednar, they never consider Bednar at all for the Adams. They don't. He's done nothing but good things since he took over coaching this Avs team. Yet he's never considered. He wasn't even a finalist last year. He's not a finalist this year. Amazing, but again, he got a cup, so that cures all ills. And now, here's Georgiev getting fucked over. You know, he should be a finalist. He really should win the Vezina. Because, like I said, this was his first full season as a starter, and look what he did. He pretty much matched or topped Ullmark, but he's not even considered as a finalist. The anti-Colorado Avalanche bias is thick. It is so thick. It really is. Because too many times for the last 10 years, I've seen Avs players and the head coach Jared Bender. I've seen our boys completely screwed over and passed over when it comes to awards. Nathan McKinnon has never won the Hart Trophy. How the fuck is that possible? And don't say Connor McDavid, don't say Connor McDavid, because one time they gave the Taylor Hall over McKinnon. I guess they've been smoking a lot of that weed. That's ridiculous. Taylor Hall over McKinnon? Are they crazy? Oh goodness, they will do anything except give the Avalanche credit. They will. McKinnon should have had at least 2 Hart trophies. I'm going to say he should have had 3. He should be a 3-time Hart winner, but he's got a cup, so that to me kind of makes up for it. He's got a cup. The Norris that Cale McCall won should have been a second straight. And Jared Bednar should have had. Jared Bednar should be an Adams winner. I'll go as far to say he should. I would go as far to say there should be an argument for him to have won the Adams back-to-back years, that short year and last year. But I'll take one or the other. And Georgiev, I'm going to go far as say this. Not only should Georgiev have been a Vezina in the finals this year, he should have won it. They hate the Avalanche. They don't want to admit that the Avalanche have award-winning players. They don't want to admit that. They really don't. And I know Ranson's not going to win the Hart, but I'll be happy if he's a finalist. But he's not going to win the Hart because Connor David just exploded with all those points. So McDavid's going to win that Hart, but I would just be happy if Rantanen is a finalist. Finalists really should be McDavid. I'll say McDavid, Pastrnak, and Rantanen. Should be those three. And of course, McDavid probably going to win unanimously because again, look how many points he had. It's pretty much inevitable. But all I'm just saying, respect the Avs, please. That's all we want. We win a cup and we don't get any respect. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, boy. But anyway, it is what it is. But anyway, that's my recap of tonight's action. As for tomorrow, the other two Game 5s will take place, and yes, it's elimination time again. Game 5 in the Atlantic between the Panthers and the Leafs, and thanks to the Leafs breaking the brooms in Game 4, they are on a trip back to Toronto. The series shifts back to Toronto, and hopefully it will be part 2 of their reverse sweep. And after that, it's Game 5 in Vegas between the Golden Knights and the Oilers. A lot of craziness in that. That series is 2-2, so this is a pivotal Game 5. And then Saturday, because Carolina took care of the Devils, only one game Saturday, and that's Game 6 in the Central between the Stars and the Kraken. That's back in Seattle, and the Stars will look to finish it. So, and of course, Game 6 in the Pacific will take place Sunday. That may or may not be the only game. The start times are kind of to be determined because we could get Game 6 back in Sunrise between the Panthers and Maple Leafs. But anyway, so that's my recap of tonight's action. Again, the Devils had a great season, and this won't be the last we see them in the playoffs. If you like this story, click the like button, click subscribe. If you want more of my story about the Devils, will be in the description below, so check it out when you can. I'll be back tomorrow to recap tomorrow night's games, hopefully with some good news that the Maple Leafs have stayed alive. So stay tuned.